I want to do a mini life course. You seem to have a history being an entrepreneur, finding companies, and I want to talk a little bit about 3 ways you kind of found your path to your current company, visionlabs.com. Because I think a lot of people are on a search for fulfillment. They're on a search for fulfillment within an organization, a side business, a part-time business, because maybe they can't do something full-time. But I think people learn from other people's paths. So what are 3 things that you can point to that helped you in your life get to where you are today?
Yeah. So originally, my original job was I was a videographer. I was a contractor who would make videos mostly for wineries. And so I would make these talking head videos that were for people who owned wineries, really rich people, lived in Napa Valley, got all the good things that come with that.
Yeah.
Realized that no one knew what to do, right? You shoot this video, you'd edit it, you do all these things, and then it would end up as on the about page of some random winery that was designed in like the 80s, it felt like. Realized that Facebook was a thing. This was back when the Facebook boom, when like you could just run ads and get 1,000 people to see it for like a penny. So then I moved into saying, hey, we could run ads to this video that we made for you.
Yeah.
Sounds good. $100. Here you go. I'm like, woo, like $100 got you a long ways back when Facebook first started advertising on their platform. Then realized that people like that did that for several years and realized that everybody really enjoyed the reporting that we were building out for the advertising. And I think the name of the game with running ads is you will eventually, if you grow your client, eventually another agency will come and take over because they're bigger. They have more resources. They can do more creative. They can run more budget, and they have a better sales team. And so I realized that was going to happen. So we ended up kind of moving into the data space and saying, hey, like eventually this is going to go out of house. Like we're not going to grow into be a 100-person agency and run everything under the sun. So we actually were able to separate from our clients and say, hey, you guys can take the ads. We will keep managing the data. And that really worked well. And so we just kept iterating on that. And more teams came to us and said, hey, we saw your reporting for client X. Like we need something like that. We need a team that we can like trust and is reliable. And that is the progress. I'd say point 1 was videography. Point 2 was running ads on Facebook and Google. And then 3 was realizing that everyone really cared about the measurement side of things as opposed to just the advertising function.
Yeah. So that collectively kind of led you to here. What would be like if you needed to, that's kind of like a mini story.
Yeah.
What would 2 other things, kind of lessons along the way that kind of, what would number 2 be as far as if it was a lesson that you learned, on whether it be resilience, discipline, et cetera?
Yeah, I'd say like in the beginning, always put in more effort than is being paid for. And that will yield you 10 times the result over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
During that one client, that one contract, that one thing, you'll probably lose money like per hour. You're like, wow, I actually am getting paid $5 an hour for this.
Yeah.
But if you're able to like put in the effort and deliver something that's way above that, it'll keep going until you have a brand that someone can say, this is why I would go to that company or that person, as opposed to just a random person on the internet on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever else who can race to the cheapest dollar amount.
Right. Go the extra mile. I mean, always, give more so people see it as an investment, right? I mean, I love that. What would the 3rd thing be?
Yeah, I'd say another life lesson on that would be make sure that you know where you're going as far as the destination. And you don't have to have like, this is my 5-year goal, but I'm like, you got to be shooting for something of like, hey, like this is the direction I'm going. You can't just be like, hey, I have a general idea. I met somebody once at like a conference and they're like, I want to I was like, what's your business? He's like, I want to start an app in AI. And I was like, that's not a destination. That's not a, like, there's nothing there. It's like an idea that I had in the shower one day.
Right.
And so if you can say a destination of what that end state looks like, even just 1 year out, I'll say in 1 year, this would be amazing. That can really help you light a fire under your butt. And when you lose that, every time I've ever lost that direction in business of like, where am I going to be in a year? And I don't know, or I don't have an idea of what that will be, then everything starts to like slow down or stop or fall off the rails.
And I'll say also, I think sometimes right now you just like, I agree with you. You want that kind of 1 year vision, but sometimes right now you need the 1 year vision, and every week you got to say, what's my vision for the week? Where do I want to be at the end of the week? Because the world is so it's just moving at a different speed, it seems.
Yeah. And I think that like the 1 week thing is awesome because then it gives you like, hey, we're going to tie these 5 or 7 days to that. But what I've seen it happen a lot, especially with marketing teams like that we work with, where like 1 week they're like, we're going to do this thing for SEO. The next week we're like, we're doing this thing for ads. And we're like, hold up, like what happened to the last thing that we were working on? Like, what's the goal? Like in a year, do you hope to have like an organic growth business?
Correct.
Like, are you hoping to be run as direct response in ads? Like, you can't change that every week. And so I think that's one thing that you could really take to heart, whoever that might be listening to this, is set a year and set a week, that the week could roll up into the year, and you'll be off to the races.
You're going right because you're just hyper focused. I love it. That was perfect. Thank you so much.